Building wealth isn't just about working hard, it's about thinking differently. Your mindset can be the difference between financial struggle and lasting success. The good news is that you can program your mind for wealth. Today, we're exploring Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker. This book reveals the thought patterns and habits that separate the wealthy from everyone else, and also goes through how you can adopt them. By the end of the video, you should be able to create your own success blueprint. Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Eva and I'm here to teach you all about entrepreneurship, personal finance, and lifestyle improvements that you can make to help you live a better life. Alright, let's dive into the strategies that could change your financial future. Throughout the book, Harv Eker talks about how changing your mindset can change your entire approach to money and help you become rich. He uses what he calls accelerated learning techniques that can help you learn faster and remember more of what you learnt. This is where his concept of declarations comes in. It's a physical action of placing your hand on your heart, making a verbal declaration, and then touching your head, making a second declaration. Sounds a bit silly. Yeah, well, if it's worked for him and made him a multimillionaire, then it's worth a shot, right? We go through some of his declarations in this video and you can add them into your life. But declarations alone aren't enough. Your underlying beliefs about money matter just as much. A quote from the book mentions, if your motivation for acquiring money or success comes from a non-supportive root such as fear, anger, or the need to prove yourself, your money will never bring you happiness. Think about that for a moment. Have you ever worked tirelessly for something only to feel empty once you've achieved it? If wealth is driven by fear, we always worry about losing it. If it's fueled by anger, success becomes a never-ending battle rather than a source of joy. And if we're trying to prove ourselves to others, no amount of money will ever feel like it's enough. True financial success isn't about having more. It's about having the right mindset so that money becomes a tool for freedom and purpose, rather than a reflection of our insecurities. That's why the author's approach goes beyond just making declarations. It's about shifting the way we think and feel about wealth at its core. I think this concept is so powerful because it highlights how our emotional relationship with money shapes our overall fulfillment. So if our mindset around money plays such a huge role in our financial success, where do these beliefs actually come from? According to Eker, we are conditioned in 3 primary ways in all areas of our life. This includes money: verbal programming, modeling, and specific incidences. Verbal programming. Understanding these 3 forms of conditioning is key because they shape how we think, feel, and act around money, often without us even realizing it. The first, verbal programming, is especially powerful. It looks at the things we hear about money growing up. Whether from parents, teachers, or society, these beliefs get deeply embedded in our subconscious. So have a think about what you heard about money growing up. Did people tell you that money is the root of all evil and that rich people are greedy, or that money isn't for people like us? For me, I was always told to work hard in school, get a good job, and then I would have money to spend. This led me to university without having much of a financial plan, just the assumption that a good job would take care of everything. All of these statements that you heard about money growing up stay in your subconscious and influence the decisions you make. But here's the problem. How can you ever become rich if you've been conditioned to believe that money is the root of all evil? Well, you're going to have to recondition your thinking. You need to separate the past program that you want to keep versus what you don't want to keep based on who you want to become. To get started, here are 4 key elements of change. Awareness. You can't change something unless you know that it exists. Understanding. By understanding where your way of thinking originates, you can recognize that it has come from outside of you. Disassociation. Separate yourself from your way of thinking and choose in the present whether to keep it or let it go, based on who you want to be. Reconditioning. Rewire your brain to think differently about money. It's not enough just to ditch the negative beliefs, you need to replace them with positive beliefs. So to start changing your verbal programming, this is what you can do. For awareness, write down all the statements you heard about money, wealth, and rich people when you were young. For understanding, write down how you believe those statements have affected your financial life so far. For disassociation, can you see how these thoughts represent only what you've learnt and are not part of your anatomy and not who you are? Can you see that you have a choice to make in the present moment to be different? And declaration. Place your hand on your heart and say, what I heard about money isn't necessarily true. I choose to adopt new ways of thinking that support my happiness and success. Then touch your head and say, I have a millionaire mind. Modeling. The second way we are conditioned is called modeling, and it stems from how those around us were like with money growing up. Did your parents always spend their money on unnecessary things? Did they invest? When they saved up a certain amount of money, was it then always time for a holiday? It's common psychology that humans imitate what they see. So if your parents mismanage money, it's likely that you do too. If they were avid investors, it's likely that you started investing at a young age. Of course, this isn't always true. It's possible to be influenced by other areas. For me, my financial influence came from a mixture of teachers, books, YouTube, and university. It was only in my late teens and early 20s that I realized the importance of saving and investing on top of just having a good job. Steps to change modeling. For awareness, consider the ways of being and habits that each of your parents had around money and wealth. Write down how you may be the same or opposite to them. For understanding, write down the effect this modeling has had on your financial life. For disassociation, can you see that the way of being is only what you have learned and it's not you? You have to create a choice in the present moment to be different. For your declaration, place your hand on your heart and say, what I modeled around money was their way. I choose my own way. Then touch your head and say, I have a millionaire mind. The third way we are conditioned are around specific incidences that have shaped your life. What did you experience when you were young that shaped how you think about money, wealth, and rich people? These experiences shape our beliefs that we live by. Take an example of someone I knew. Let's call him Leo. Leo's parents never had savings. When payday would come around, they would go out for dinner, buy new clothes, and all the latest technology, only for them to struggle to pay their rent at the end of the month. The parents would always say, money comes and goes, so you might as well enjoy it while you have it. As an adult, Leo found himself living paycheck to paycheck, no matter how much money he earned, because subconsciously, Leo believed that holding onto money was pointless. So here are some steps to change your specific incidents. For awareness, consider the specific emotional incident that you experienced around money when you were young. For understanding, write down how this incident affected your current financial life. Then you need to deassociate. Can you see that this way of being is only what you learnt and it's not you? You have a choice in the present moment to be different. For your declaration, place your hand on your heart and say, I release my non-supportive money experiences from the past and create a new and rich future. Then touch your head and say, I have a millionaire mind. Now that you've gone through your past conditioning, you need to go through your responses and analyze where your financial blueprint is set to. Are you currently on track to spend everything you earn, or dig yourself the same hole when you get to a certain point? Or are you destined for financial success? The next step is to reprogram your wealth files. These are your automated responses to how you think and act. This part looks at reconditioning, and it's the last key element of change that we mentioned earlier. For example, say you're walking through the shops and you notice something that you've been wanting to buy. It's 20% off, but you currently have $5,000 of credit card debt that you've been trying to pay off. Do you spend $300 to buy this item? You can change your thought process to think in ways that will support you in your goals, helping to keep you moving and put that $300 towards paying your debt rather than stopping to buy the item. Harv Eker lists 17 wealth files and generalizes the difference in how rich and poor people would think. I'm going to summarize these as quickly as I can. It all starts with belief. Rich people take full responsibility for their actions and play to win, while poor people feel like the victims and play defensively. The wealthy are fully committed to financial success, think big, and focus on opportunities rather than dwelling on obstacles. Rich people admire success in others and surround themselves with positive, successful individuals, whereas poor people resent the wealthy and keep company with those who reinforce limiting beliefs. Rich people also embrace self-promotion. They see selling as a way to provide value, while poor people associate sales with greed. When challenges arise, the wealthy see themselves as bigger than their problems, while the poor tend to let their problems control them. Rich people embrace wealth and opportunities, get paid based on results rather than time, and think abundantly, while poor people struggle to receive, limit their earnings, and see life in terms of scarcity. They prioritize net worth, manage money wisely, and make money work for them, whereas poor people mismanage finances and remain stuck in a paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. The wealthy take action despite fear, continuously learn and grow, while the poor let fear stop them and believe they already know enough. Ultimately, financial success is shaped by the mindset and habits and not just income. Wealth isn't just about money, it's about the mindset and habits that shape financial success. Do you recognize any of these beliefs in yourself? Let me know in the comments below. Now let's take this beyond the book and look into your real life. It's one thing to absorb a story and another to apply the lessons in a way that can truly make a difference. So here are a few actionable steps you can make today. 1. Identify your core patterns. Pay attention to the cycles that you find yourself repeating, whether in relationships, work, or personal growth. Are these habits reactions or decisions that seem to play on a loop? Awareness is the first step in breaking these patterns that are no longer serving you. Try journaling your thoughts or tracking behaviors over a few weeks to spot reoccurring themes. 2. Lean into discomfort. Change and growth are uncomfortable. Instead of avoiding difficult conversations or situations, approach them with curiosity. Ask yourself, what more can I learn from this? The more you train yourself to embrace discomfort, the more resistant and adaptable you become. 3. Take small intentional risks. Transformation doesn't just happen overnight, but small shifts add up. If you feel stuck, Take one small action today that moves yourself towards the life you want. It could be reaching out to someone you admire, setting a boundary, or saying yes to something that scares you. Confidence builds with each step forward. 4. Redefine your narrative. The stories we tell ourselves shape our reality. If you find yourself saying, I'm not the type of person who, change that belief. What if you are that type of person? Rewrite the narrative in a way that empowers you. Sometimes the biggest transformation starts with changing the way you see yourself. 5. Make reflection a habit. True growth comes from processing experiences, not just moving through them. Whether it's through journaling, voice notes, or deep conversations, regularly reflect on your process. Ask yourself, what have I learnt? What needs to change? What am I proud of? These moments of self-awareness will keep you moving in the right direction. Transformation is ongoing. It's not just a destination, but a journey. The key is to stay open, take action, and trust that every step forward, no matter how small, is leading towards something more meaningful. Now, if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's that your financial future is in your hands. No matter what you were taught, no matter what you believed up until now, you have the power to rewrite your money story. The wealthy aren't born with a special gene. They think differently. They take action. They surround themselves with successful people. And most importantly, they believe they deserve wealth and financial freedom. So today, I challenge you to make one small shift in your thinking. Identify a limiting belief and replace it with a powerful declaration. And if this video inspired you, let me know in the comments what mindset shift you're working on. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Share it with friends who might also benefit from learning about financial success. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.